Welcome to the Amazing Authorities Podcast, where game changers, visionaries, and category leaders share how they built their brands, platforms, and global influence. Your host is Mitch Carson, international speaker, media strategist, and creator of the Instant Authority System. If you're ready to learn from those who've done it and want to become the go-to expert in your space, you're in the right place.
So where do you see AI going? We're now deep into 2025, way beyond ChatGPT, which hit the market in 2022. I think it was late November of 22. Yeah. And I know that because I produced the world's first in-person live event with 563 people in Las Vegas, specifically for ChatGPT. But that almost seems like another lifetime. Today, everything has evolved. And you're right in the thick of it, Matthew.
Yeah. I mean, it's changing daily. I think that's the crazy part about this whole environment, right? It's what it was a month ago is not what it is today. What it is today is a month from now. It is the evolution of this is
the slope is this. Yeah. It's not a gradual. It is 88 degrees.
It's intense. And what I think the future of this, it's really good at like generative stuff right now, creating content, answering questions, basically anything it can do in search, it can get you, right? It's got pretty much all the content on the internet. It can give you what you need. But what I think it's going to start to go into is more assistive AI. So I think that in the next year is really, we're going to see the transition. Instead of it just being generative AI, where it can, give you information, it can answer questions, it can create content for you. It's going to start assisting you a lot more. And what I mean by that is like, helping, let's say you have a CRM, you're out on a job site and you're like, oh, I need to update John Doe's phone number because I just got a new phone number. Instead of like sitting down at the CRM, writing it down, sitting down the CRM, updating it, you just open your phone, say, AI, update John Doe's phone number in Salesforce, and boom, it'll do it in the back end for you. And that's kind of what we're creating with Platypus OS is an assistant that can really work on any application, any tool, and really be your personal assistant. That's kind of the way we're thinking about this is AI should be able to be a personal assistant, and that's where the future of this is really going.
Oh, I love that. Let me hang on. Let me drill down a little bit on that. I didn't know that this was possible. So you're out, or I'm at a conference as a speaker. I just have to bark into my phone, and it'll be already set up to integrate with Go High Level, which is my platform, as an example. So I can bypass my assistant.
Yeah, the way we think about it is like it's becoming your assistant, right? I like to kind of build this narrative around what AI is starting to become. You shouldn't think about it as like an app or a tool anymore. You should think of AI as a part of your team, a teammate within your organization, somebody who can work with you and for you. And so the way we've done it is we've connected with 1,500 different applications, their CRM, any application that you have. We integrate via API, and then all you have to do is put in like your API credentials for that specific tool, and it can access all these tools and do the work for you because we also feed it all the API endpoints and documents for whatever tool you're using. It can read that in a millisecond, understand what endpoints it has, and then do the work for you across multiple tools as well. So you can be like, update John Doe's phone number to this, and then call it on Google phone, something like that. And it can make all those points and then connect everything and do the work for you. So that's where we're seeing this go is, we're trying to move people away from having to use the interface of applications and be able to use your personal assistant to do the work for you. And that's where I think it gets really exciting and cool.
My mind immediately went to where Instagram is exploding, TikTok is exploding. It depends on what our president decides to do with it or not. I don't know where we are with it today. I create a piece of content. You and I are doing this podcast. At the conclusion, can I then speak to my teammate, which is an AI bot that comes out of Platypus? Can I speak to it and say, edit, get this edited, syndicate it, place it in a vertical format, on Instagram stories, horizontal format, upload to my YouTube channel, and then syndicate it to iTunes, Apple, Google Podcasts, et cetera, et cetera. Is that possible in the near future, or how far are we from that?
It's very possible actually right now. I mean, again, these systems all have APIs we can connect into. Our system also allows you to control via the DOM, via the front end of a website as well. The API is it's more responsible a way of doing it. But the cool thing about this too is we're also building an agent marketplace. And so everything you just said there, you could go on, you're gonna have to prompt it very well. I mean, like tell it exactly what you just wanted it to do. But you could also just build agents that save that whole workflow for you, every step you want to take, and then say, AI, post this podcast using my podcast agent. And then it can take all those workflow steps for you automatically and just run through the entire program and do it all. Yep, it's going to take care of the entire thing for you. If you want specific edits, you say, switch back and forth between the interviewer and the interviewee every 30 seconds, things like that. Or when you see that person talking, it's going to be able to do all of that and a lot more. So it's going to make, what it's going to do, it's going to take all that kind of manual work you were just talking about. That's kind of a drag and a lot of work.
It is manual. And it's typically done through a low paid worker, oftentimes in the Philippines. Used to be India, but then we couldn't understand what they said, so it had to go to the Philippines. And they're, let's say, $1,000 a month versus an assistant in the U.S., which might all in cost an employer $4,000 a month.
I mean, it's going to be way less than that. Let's think about just the assistant itself. Like, we're at a certain bandwidth. Our system is going to be a freemium model, so you have assistant to a certain threshold. But even at a top threshold, you're probably going to be spending $10, $15 a month on the assistant. And then the agent that you could either go build the agent yourself, and that's not going to cost anything, or people will make pre-made agents that have all those kind of steps, and you'd buy that for $5, $10 a month. So instead of it being $5,000 a month or whatever it's going to be, you're talking about 30, 20, $30. That's where this gets crazy, is the money saving is going to be huge. It's also why people need to think about, when they talk and think about AI, they need to tap into not only the tech budgets that companies have, but also the workforce budget they have, because it's going to take a lot of that, menial work that you have to pay somebody to do, and take that and inject it into the AI systems. It's going to be faster, it's going to be cleaner, and it's going to be a lot more cost effective. So it's going to be a big change in the next, I would say, even 6-12 months. There's a lot coming down the road.
So does Platypus, your company, provide that guidance, or what exactly does Platypus do for people?
Yeah, so what we've done is we've built our AI assistant basically on the backbone of our own proprietary browser, right? So you use our browser and you can do a whole bunch of things you can do in a normal browser, but also baked into it is this AI assistant that you can open up. You can do it on your phone, you can do it via the computer itself. And then again, instead of going to all these different softwares and technologies you have, opening up, your CRM and typing away and plugging things in, you just prompt it. It's going to be able to do the work for you, because we're basically the middleware. So between your prompting, your agents, us, and then like the API layer that we can just do all the work through, that's kind of how to think about how this system will work. It's basically taking the manual work out of all of these applications that you use and allowing you to do it via your personal assistant, your AI prompts into your assistant.
Wow. And how long does it take to set up? Let's talk about a content creator. If you were to approach a person like a Joe Rogan, who now, he's the biggest podcaster in the world. I think there's a new lady, I forgot her name at the moment, that seems to be biting on his heels. She just got paid $40 million to, she got, her name escapes me at the moment. I just read the article last week. And she's huge. But Joe, let's just use Joe because he's still the most recognized person. How would you approach him? What would you offer somebody at that caliber? Because he's clearly got a whole team around him, because you see his shorts everywhere. And then there's the long form.
I mean, I'm assuming with him, again, he's probably has somebody specific for all the short form content, right? Who's just cutting everything up, editing it, posting it to all the social media profiles manually. You also have whoever's working on his long form stuff. You've got the people that are creating the content and the questionnaires and all that kind of stuff. Most of that will be able to be taken care of via these systems. And to set something like that up, I mean, There's a couple different ways you can do it. I probably something that he has, because it's pretty large scale, all the different work that he has to have done. He could probably spend $1,500, let's say, using an AI engineer to exactly prompt what they want that thing to do, how that whole flow goes, what that workflow looks like, what that structure looks like. And then from there, he's going to be spending 30, 50 bucks a month just on the system as it operates for him. And then every once in a while, if he wants something changed, you just play with the prompts. That's the cool thing too, is like with the way our system works, because we're already plugged into all the APIs in the front end, our agent developers don't have to do any coding. There's zero coding. It's basically just prompt engineering. So they come in, they create all this stuff. I mean, that person could go create that whole workflow for Joe Rogan and then sell it to every other podcaster out there as well. They put it in the marketplace and sell that exact same thing to whoever wants it. So it's a cool and interesting way that these AI engineers will be able to make like new businesses for themselves. It's going to create a whole new industry that I think is going to really kind of upend how SaaS works as a whole. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how it disrupts a lot of what's going on right now, how people operate.
Yeah, because there are one of the pains of a podcast host is editing. There have been solutions made. Different platforms will edit and create magically your shorts for you with AI. You may need to go in and edit, maybe not, but apparently they optimize it to know which segments, and that they're 24 seconds, which seems to be the optimal number for a short, or the optimal time for it. So a lot of that is already, that guesswork is taken out, but I don't think there's anything I've seen in the market, and I might have just tapped into a business opportunity here of taking that pain away, because problems with solutions equals money. You've created a system where people who have a problem tap into Platypus, and I'm going to dig in the name of that, why you chose the name Platypus. I'm sure it's tied in metaphorically in some way. And then people are able to save time, spend more time with their money, and spend more time with their families and make money. Those are the motivators with people.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the big things we think about. So I have another company called Keybot, which is like a centralized platform for SaaS tools. We work with a ton of small, medium-sized businesses with that, right? What we have found, so we've launched this in beta with a bunch of those guys, small business owners. What we have found is a lot of these guys, they'll activate a CRM, but they'll never actually use it because they don't have the resources or they don't have the time to do it. This takes away a lot of those barriers. And we're seeing these small business owners start to use technology a lot more effectively. And it's allowing them to save more time on their daily, operations, sitting in the computer. It's allowing them to be a lot faster. Let's say they have a phone call come in at, 2 a.m., a plumber who needs, somebody needs their toilet fixed, whatever. A lot of times they'll miss that call, right? With AI, they can answer that phone call and schedule that meeting for them. So all these different things will help, I think, especially small business owners, will help them, number one, be a lot more efficient in using technology. And if you think about it this way too, with AI, you kind of can build a whole team around you. You can have an operations agent that works for you. You can have a marketing agent that works for you and does all this stuff. I like the idea that it kind of levels the playing field a little bit. You can have small businesses actually operate in a way where they can compete more with the larger companies because they now have access to more of a team like the big companies have. So there's a lot of cool things that I think we're going to see out of this on a whole bunch of industry-wide and company size-wide aspects, which I think is exciting.
Well, so it bridges the gap of big company, big budget with the small guy, and he's able to compete, and people perception is reality. And the perception is that you could be a big player and be operating out of your closet.
Yeah. But now you kind of can.
So where does the name Platypus come from?
So it's kind of funny. We actually just kind of came up with this name. So Platypus is kind of a weird nickname that I've just had for a long time from my close friends and family. And we were just playing with a whole bunch of things, and it kept coming back being like, Platypus is kind of just a fun, interesting thing. People remember it. They're like, oh, Platypus OS. That is a fun way to think about this. And so it just kind of morphed into this. And then the OS comes in, because the way I think about AI too is in the next few years, I think it's going to start to replace operating systems. I think the future operating system, remember like in Star Trek, The Next Generation, they just like, computer, do this, computer, do that. That's how this is going to operate. Operating systems are going to start to be so like entrenched in AI and AI first that I think that is where we're building towards. We want to be an operating system that's AI first. And I think that's really kind of where the idea for the OS part of it comes in. And then platypus is it's just fun. I think it's a fun word to say, fun kind of.
Oh, all right. So it didn't have to do with the little animal found in Australia with I think it's got a poisonous tail. And
Poisonous
it's
tail.
very cute.
Yeah. It's like the only mammal that lays eggs, I think. It's a weird animal.
Yes. Yeah. It's got some unique characteristics, and everything is different in Australia. They got the most poisonous snakes and etc. But so the platypus, so it was basically a nickname for you, and it sticks out. And it also causes intrigue. Interesting.
Yeah. It's fun. It's exciting, and it's very different. I think that's what we're building. It's something much different than anything else I've seen on the market so far. So
yeah, I personally want to dig into this whole podcast arena of creating a turnkey solution for them that does all of this work. So I think we need to have a follow-up call. I'll say that right here on this, because this platform isn't going away. You know, my background was radio before and television, and still have a TV show on NBC3, but that whole platform is sunsetting, as well as my age group. It's evolved and changed quite a bit. And then, of course, Trump instigated some changes, which has affected television even further, what he's done. But I think podcasting is here. Where are you going with Platypus?
Yeah, so we want to be, again, in the long run, we want to be an operating system. We want to sit on devices and have devices come to us and say, hey, we want to operate our device as an AI first kind of system. And really, if you think about how an operating system works, it really just is collecting applications through the internet and then having them operate, right? We can do the same thing, basically browser wise. So you can basically have a browser that sits on your platform that is the operating Chromebooks. That basically is how those work anyway. And so if we can take that mentality and then plug it into there, we can have devices that basically you're just creating an AI assistant that walks around with you everywhere you're going on any device that you have. It can plug into different systems, and it's syncable that you can access these types of things wherever you are, however you're working. It's also headless, which means it all lives in the cloud versus lives on a device. So it doesn't matter how fast your computer is or how good your internet is. It's all going to work pretty seamlessly because it's kind of just basically streaming that browser aspect onto your device. So some really cool things that we're going to be doing there. I think in the next year, launching the marketplace is going to be big. We hope to have a few thousand, agents or assistants. We're calling them assistants actually instead of agents on our marketplace that you can, access, purchase, and start using. And I think that's going to be a huge new way of people operating, being able to say, okay, I want to buy a specific assistant to do these specific things for me. And I think it's the future of, honestly, the internet. I think the kind of these agents. And the cool thing about, again, how we're operating, you come in, you build your agent, because we're plugged into every single one of these APIs of all these applications. You can build an agent that can work across. Right now, when people build agents, like, okay, I want it to work in Salesforce and HubSpot and whatever CRM.
Go high level.
Go high level. Yep. With our system, you can build it and then it will work across any CRM, because our system knows exactly how each CRM will work because we have all the documents. And then so that you can build an agent that is much more robust. Anybody, no matter what CRM they're using, will be able to utilize the agent that you've built, which I think is a really neat way to kind of think about how, the future of managing all this is going to work. It's you just prompt engineer it, put it in our marketplace, and then it's completely codeless. We take care of all that for you.
Are we headed towards regulation with AI?
I think we have to. Yeah. Regulation, the way I think about where AI is going is it's becoming so proliferous around everything that we do, right? And there's going to be bad actors out there. I mean, with every technological advance, there's bad actors that come along. That it's hard to capture and understand what they're going to be doing, but we need to be thinking about, specifically when it comes to defense, when it comes to ways that people are going to be able to rip people off, we need to start building regulations into this stuff now. And I think we're missing the ball on it pretty hard. When you see like a congressional hearing and these people don't even basically know what the internet is, that's a real problem. And it's really kind of a struggle that we're going to have if we can't get people into these positions that know what they're talking about and can draft actual legislation that will make sense for the industry as a whole, because it's going fast. It is going so fast, and we need to wrap our arms around it a bit before it kind of gets out of hand, which I know we're always pretty slow at this stuff.
Well, there's so much to cover, Matthew. I think we have to have a part 2 at a later date to do this. But how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so honestly, I love getting emails from people. Matt@platypusos.com. Email me. I love connecting with people. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, just Matthew White, or look up Platypus OS and you'll find me as a CEO there. Connect with me. Let's have conversations. We're always looking for just new people to talk to. We want to understand what you want or need out of AI so we can start building that into our system. And then we're also just looking for people that want to become AI developers and develop applications and agents that can be plugged into our system. They can sell it. We've tested this out a bit, and you can build an agent in less than a day and then deploy it and start selling it. It's so easy at this point to build little businesses around this kind of stuff.
I'm going to ask you a basic question. How do you spell platypus?
Platypus.
Okay. Yeah, because that's a bit of a tongue twister unless you're familiar with the cute little animal with a poisonous tail, but that's great. Well, Matthew, you've been a great guest, and I'm going to reach out to you because I have this whole arena I want to explore, because I think it's the timing is now. And I'll be in contact with you very soon. And thank you for your insights today on the amazing authorities. And you've been an amazing authority with great sound. Thanks, bud. We'll see you very soon.
Thanks so much. It was great.
Thanks for tuning in to the Amazing Authorities Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps more experts like you rise to the top. For behind-the-scenes access and free resources to boost your authority, head to mitchcarson.com. Until next time, stay amazing.